After the bye week, how what'd you guys learn during the bye week? I guess about yourselves, about this team.
I think we had a few things that we were focusing on. Obviously the execution and just having more urgency. In what we're doing. So I think those are kind of the big focuses of just kind of going back to some of the fundamental stuff. So we did that during the bye week, and I thought we had a great. Some great practices, and so yesterday we had a great practice as well. So I think we're everyone's in the right mindset.
After the Virginia game, some of the guys said that the bye week was coming at a good time, but I wonder if maybe that wasn't necessarily the case. Maybe after a game like that, you want to get right back at it. Was it good, or would you have rather played right away?
I think it's good to have some time to make those corrections. Assess what we're doing and what we're doing well, what we're not doing well. So I think it. I guess it wasn't a good time then. And we were able to assess those things and get better at them.
How frustrating has it been offensively to just not really find that rhythm, find that consistency that we're used to seeing from this offense?
Yeah, here and there, but that's football a little bit. That's athletic. Sometimes that happens. So you just gotta keep swinging and keep working at it and just trying to get better every day, and that's what this group's doing.
The run game struggled some, and I know they're getting you involved in the run game some. And then obviously as a blocker too. But what have you seen? Do you think you guys are close, or what have you seen from the run game? How tough has that been to figure out 30 yards rushing in the last game?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to some of the little things. Within the execution. We go back and watch the film, and the stuff's there. It's usually just one guy here, one guy there. So if we can just get everyone clicking at the same time, I think we'll be good.
What do you think about one of the guys we talked about? He plays on the other side of the ball, but it's Gabe Perez. Coming back from what he has and stuff like that. What stands out to you about him?
Well, I think exactly what you just said is what he's endured while being here and the perseverance he has, and I think that shows a lot. To really kind of go through all the the injuries and all that he has, and just keep coming back and keep playing. And obviously he's been playing really well, so it's nice to finally see him out there consistently.
What do you think about his little he has a little celebration now? Apparently, like hits his shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
He had another one before that. I don't really know what it was for, but yeah, do your thing.
With BYU, what do you see about their defense? And it seems like that year after year, that seems to be one of their strengths.
I think they're physical. Obviously, they got big guys. Especially up front. They're sound. They, not necessarily bringing too much craziness or whatever, but just a sound defense with a lot of good players on it. Individual athletes that can really play well.
I feel like you guys are in kind of similar spots. Both of you guys are kind of desperate for a win here to kind of get things turned around. They're kind of in a similar spot. You're going to probably get a pretty hungry group on Friday.
Well, I think regardless, I don't think we're desperate for a win. I think we're coming back, doing our work. Sometimes you lose some games in the season. But yeah, it's BYU and Boise State playing each other, and every year that's a good game. It's somewhat of a rivalry or whatever you want to call it. But going to their place, you got 65,000 fans that go nuts, so it's always a good environment, and they're a great team. So
is hungry for a win a better word? Hungry?
Sure. Always hungry for wins.
What is it about that crowd and that atmosphere? I know last year's came down to the wire, and obviously they had the Hail Mary and stuff. I know the time before you got here was a tough one too. What is it about going there and that crowd and that atmosphere that you guys are going to have to be ready for?
Yeah. I think it's just not playing at home. Crowd noise offensively. It's just, being in different environments, you always got to be ready for that. And something, that we practice, as much as we can in practice. But yeah, you just got to be ready for it. For some of the guys that have played there is, maybe not as big of a deal, but, for some of those younger guys, hopefully they adjust to it early.
Coach Apple's called this game a rivalry to you yesterday. You guys as players, do you feel that it is?
Sure. I think every game, is a little bit of rivalry in the Mountain West. I think it's like that, and I think every opponent we go against, might be the underdog or whatever. So I see it as a rivalry every week. I think that's a good mindset to take, and obviously Boise State and BYU go at it every year. So sure.
What is it about BYU that seems to bring a little extra oomph? The former players who like to talk about it. Even Utah State's quarterback talked about it after that game. What is it about BYU? I don't want to say that gets under people's skin, but what is it about them that makes guys bring it a little more?
Yeah, I don't know. There's things here and there, in the games past that have happened or whatever. But I think you should always play with an attitude. So, that's what we'll go and do when we go over there.
You guys have had a couple of extra days to get ready for this game. Is there an area where you've seen more improvement as you get set for Friday?
I think overall, offensively, the rhythm has been there, this last week, and obviously that's something that, we're trying to, get back. So, I think that's been there, that's been improved.
What have you seen from Brett? And obviously been a tough year for him at times. With getting hurt and getting benched or all that kind of stuff. How do you kind of see him kind of battling through this? It probably hasn't gone the way he thought it would so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously doing a great job, I think. He comes every day to work to get better, and you can really tell that any guy on this team would say that. So I think that's a sign of a great leader. Is sometimes things don't go the way you expect them to go, or how you want them to go. So you keep bouncing back and keep fighting and keep getting better every day.
How much have you enjoyed your role this year? They said red zone efficiency was going to be a big part, and that's exactly what you've brought. How much pride have you taken in that, being that guy that they can trust down there to get some points?
I take a lot of pride in that. But really in any situation of being a guy that they feel they can get the ball to or count on. Whether it's blocking, running, catching. So just kind of being that guy that they can trust is always a big thing for me. So yeah, really just gaining that trust over the last handful of years.
I don't think we'll get an answer, but Coach Hill joked about a term for the Wildcat when you're back there, but it's not the Wildcat. Any insight on that?
I don't have any insight on that. I haven't even heard that, to be honest.
We saw Travis Kelce getting some carries last night. What is it about tight ends? It's kind of a unique formation, but when you do get back there, what do you like about that?
It's something new. It's a different view of the game. It's just cool to kind of change it up, be able to show, some of your athleticism or, that stuff. So, it's cool, and I think it, obviously for defenses, can make them think a little bit more. So, that's what we try to do.
You see a throw out of that formation?
I have no idea.
I think you've already tipped your hat that you're not very good, but whatever. You ever thrown one in your career?
Like in my whole career playing football, maybe in like 3rd grade, but not since collegiate sports.
If you're at the goal line, you don't have to throw very far.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks, Nate.